Okay, guys, doing a portfolio update on a Monday morning, completely off schedule, but things look good. Gold is above 2000, currently 2012, 2015, so it looks good. I'm going to start by reviewing the dollar, then looking very quickly at gold miners, and I'm going to try and go through my portfolio a little quicker this time because 30 minutes is a long time, even though it's your favorite video. So let's start off with the DXY. Look at it here. Currently unchanged, right? We're just hanging around in the low 103s. I've always said that 103 is a level. It pretty much is. To be honest, the last low was 103.2-ish. So we're there. We touched it already. The day is young. There'll be news out as usual. So let's not overdo it. But, you know, it's good to see the dollar low. I thought it might actually rise. I thought the rise from down here could have gone a bit further, but here we are at the lows. Hopefully we close below 103. That would be really good. And then flushed even lower. I mean, it's rare that it just comes all the way down here without bouncing. It has done a small bounce, but you know, it's also rare to see it bounce this strong as it did all the way here. So we could just go all the way back down now that the rate increases are off the table. That would justify a move all the way back down and some. So let's see. But you know, for now the dollar remains weak. Let's just see if we sort of go sideways here and bounce a bit more at 103. But I like to see the dollar weak. What can I say? Let's look at gold and silver very quickly before jumping at the miners. I'm not going to do interest rates. That will stay with the usual bigger videos elsewhere. Sorry, the videos that cover sort of the other sectors. Nothing to do with the portfolio. Okay, so gold, here we are. You can see, you know, this was the level, 2010. I always said 2010. Look at it, the highs we hit there, 3 days, then here 2 days. Bam. Now, this is daily candles. The day is young. We have to close above 2010. But, you know, at least we've pierced above it. So that's a good sign. It depends what the dollar does. And again, we need gold to at least close above here. But so far, so good. Let's see what happens during regular trading. I think the picture paints 1,000 words, you know, all the way down here, the Middle East conflict. But I think that was an excuse for a lot of central banks to buy what they otherwise would have bought anyway. So I think there's more than just war here, especially if you consider retracement being very weak. I mean, look, we've got exchanging prisoners. Yes, the conflict will go on, but I think the conflict is an excuse for gold to go up. It would have gone up anyway. I think there are more monetary reasons for this rise. Let's look at silver real quick too, because that, which is another bullish signal, is rising more than gold. Look, we're up 2% pretty much. And I said, you know, gold at 2000, 2010, you should see silver at 25. We're pretty much there, right? Where are we? We're hitting 2480s. Let's get to 25. You know, maybe when gold's at 2020, I have a feeling we might just do that today. I think we could start hitting 25, but a close above 25 would be sublime. And then we can hit 26. And when we hit 26, everyone's going to start talking about 30s everywhere. So first step is a close above 25, but this is beautiful. Silver's catching up with gold. And, you know, we're hitting the big numbers, big round numbers, 25, hopefully. Let's look at the miners. Miners are also doing their thing. Look at this pre-market opening above the all-important. You know, I said 36 for GDXJ, 30 for GDX. Look at that. On Friday, we touched 36. We closed just below it. It's beautiful. I'm happy we closed below it. It just proves that technicals are correct. But here we are opening above it. Does that mean it's a gap up and we're going to go back down, close the gap? Maybe. Who cares? Not all gaps get closed, by the way. You know, we could just gap and run. And we've got a lot of running to do because, yes, silver has some catching up with gold, but the miners have more catching up with than anything else. So let's just see it run and rise. You know, let's open up and just run. So GDXJ, it's all about the close above 36. It's very nice that it's opening above it. Let's make sure we close above it because you could end up with an ugly candle. You know, I don't expect it to happen, but imagine it opens above it and then just closes like below 35.5. That would be a horrible resistance candle, like reversal almost. But let's not talk about that because right now it looks great. Opening, gapping up above the all-important 36. GDX, not yet there. Still don't really care about where it opens. It's about where it closes. Let's close above 30. We're almost there. But it's good to see, once again, the GDXJ outperforming the GDX, just as it's good to see silver outperforming gold. So it looks good. Let's get to the actual portfolio update. The actual portfolio. All right, Newmont. Underperforming. At least it's up. At least it's green. I mean, I think on Friday I saw some stocks, some silver stocks as usual, up 3, 4, 5, 6%, whilst Newmont's struggling with 1%, even red at some point. Actually, it closed red, isn't it? Look at that, it closed red. Ridiculous, but it's basically unchanged. Let's just see it get to 39. 39 is important to me. It's just, you know, the high of these last couple of candles, these 4 candles here. We did at least close above the descending. Maybe that's why it was a bit of resistance, but let's just see it close above 39 today. That would be decent. I don't know how much of a percentage move that is from the close on Friday. Ooh, 4%. That's asking quite a bit. But it should, I mean, it should be way higher. Look where we are, you know, just it's underperforming the GDX, and the GDX is underperforming gold, which is underperforming everything else. So let's just see. The all important really is 41. Yes, 40 is a big round number, but I don't see 40 as resistance. I mean, it was support down here. It has been a little, you know, support down here, but recently this negates everything before. You know, this takes priority. The more recent candles are the more important ones. So for me, 39 and 41, actually 40 is the one number that's not really relevant. So let's close above 39, and then finally let's get above 41, and then we can start. And the amount of time that will take will probably be near this descending. Then we take out the descending. We've got lots of little mini resistances on the way, but they will count. And for me, the first one is 39, even though the line's not there. I just know it quite well, and that's 4% away, so that's still asking quite a bit. So Newmont underperforming, but so much potential. If gold starts to run, I mean, think about it. Gold starts to close above 2010. Maybe it closes higher. You know, maybe DDX, the DXY closes below 103. You have so much room to run on Newmont. It's like 100%, and this is not some Chinese stock. This is some real, you know, the biggest miner out there in the world. So yeah, I'm happy that it's so low. I guess I just wanted to start performing now. All right, Barrick Gold, another massive senior that could do 100% quite easily, but it is outperforming Newmont's, but that's not too hard, and it's still down in the doldrums. I mean, look, what's 100% of 16? It's 32, and you know, that's pretty much the highs. And gold is at the highs, so it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, we're gapping up. Let's see. The open's 3 hours away. I think the first real resistance, yes, you have a mini one here at 16. 16, not really. To be honest, it's 17. It's rough. Like it could be 16. 90, it could be 17.20. So I'm just putting a rough resistance of around $17. I think a close above $17 would be sufficient for it to run to its first real clear resistance, which is $18, actually just below 18, 17.89. I'd sell that at 87 to be sure. So, but look, you know, higher highs, higher lows, a gap up and run, a close above 17, yeah, and then we run to 18 and then 20. 20, I would say a bit higher, but 20 is a big round number, so let's make it 20. At which point, by the way, we probably start hitting the descending. You know, how long will that take? 2-3 weeks, maybe less, depends how fast it is, but there could be some really big resistance around 20. Big round number, double horizontal and a descending. So, and then obviously we close above that and run. I'm not talking about support, I'm really talking about the rise today. So I'm just not going to talk about support. That's a bit negligent of me, but I mean, the support lines are there anyway. So that's what I think on gold on the way up. Agnico-Eagle, very clear that we're roughly at resistance here. 50, big round number. For sure, it doesn't have any pre-market moves, but for sure we're going to open up above it, and we're just going to start running to 53. I don't see any resistance until 53. And then some small resistance at 54 maybe. I can see why I put that in between. At which point we probably start hitting a bit of a descending resistance. There'll be some double resistance, depends how long it takes, and then a close above that, and up we run to 60. So yeah, I'd say 53, 54, maybe 56 for descending, and then 60. But let's go test 53, shall we? Maybe even close above it. Okay, Pan American Silver. Ooh, nice gap up. It's a silver stock. It's a senior. It's a beast. Also acquired Yamana. This is a good one. Okay, for me, first resistance 1550. 1550. This gap is irrelevant. 1550. Let's close above 1550. Because then we're taking out this mini horizontal. But look, 1, 2, 3, 4 recent candles. Also the descending. So close above 1550. And then Normally, once you take out descending, you're going to run quite a bit, but I can see, you know, there's a gap, and there's also the highs, the last three important candles here. I think $16 and a round number, $16 will also unfortunately count as resistance, but we could just go right through that. It could be some intraday resistance. So 15.50, 16, and then I'm going to say 17. I'm going to say 17, but then we're going to be on a bit of a squeezy moment here, because we could have silver at 25. Think about the margins, think about how much money good companies will be making. And, you know, we've just taken out some descending. Look where we are, for goodness sake. This is absurd. So you could start having some shorts just saying, okay, I'm going to close this. And we could have a bit of a squeeze in Pan American silver. So that's looking very nice. Okay. Wheaton, precious metals. This is one that I wanted to sell because it's been doing so well whilst the others haven't. And I wanted to take the proceeds of Wheaton and put it amongst the silver stocks, which I don't regret having not done, because actually outperformed or was performing in line with the others the whole of last week. And at least it's up pre-market here. But I have the feeling when you start to squeeze, when we start seeing silver, you know, up 2%, and we start seeing gold closing above 2010, now's the time to take your Wheaton and move it elsewhere, because, you know, Wheaton could be up 2%, but the others are going to start being up 5-6%. So today may just be the day where I say, okay, thank you, Wheaton. I'll try and time it at the high of day or something, or a high of a part of the day, and then, you know, sell it, liquidate it, and then throw it into these more aggressive silver stocks. But anyway, here we are. As you can see, look, it's gone up whilst the others haven't. So you can see it's outperformed. A bit of resistance here. You can see these two candles here. I don't know, is that 48 being resistance? Although we're opening at 48. Let's see. I've got 48.50 as a bit of resistance, just because of the support it had here. It could be. And every 50 cents could end up being resistance on such a stock. I'm not sure. Yeah, if 48.50 is resistance during the day, I'll close it there maybe. Otherwise, if you start to close above 48.50 and hold that and keep running, I don't see any resistance really until 51 maybe. Well, clearly 52.5. So Wheaton is really, and we're talking about all-time highs here. Well, almost 52.5, then a bit of sideways. Look at this ascending resistance, that's rare. And then the absolute all-time high of 58. But you can see, look, this is even is this a 2011 high? Look at that. We're pretty much at the 2011 high. How many miners do you know that are at the 2011 high? Very few. So Wheaton obviously very, very strong. It's a good defensive one to hold on the way down, but on the way up, it's been quite good too. So, but I think times will change. Look, up 0.5% on Friday, whilst the other ones outperforming. Okay, let's go to the silver stocks. First, Majestic. This is a bit like Pan American Silver, the same sort of chart, but this probably has more squeeze potential because it's just been so obliterated. They're very similar though. Okay, for me, I was saying, you know, watch this descending. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it broke out, closed above it on Friday for the first time, clearly. Now we're gapping up for good reason. $6 is really important. We could breach and run above the second descending. Look at that one. And then we're out of all descendings. So and I think $6 just to add insult to injury to the shorts there. If you close above 6, you're taking out the horizontal, the two descendings, you're above a psychological number, and you've got a great macro and micro thesis ahead of you. So squeeze. You know, this really has squeeze potential. And today, this week is a good example. We just need a good close, of course. You know, it could start all well, and then the dollar starts to firm on news or whatever. So let's not get too excited, but this really has potential. I really want a close above $6, and I think any shorts that were left are pretty much covered, or are going to have to cover soon. So after 6, there's 640, and then there's 7, and then, to be honest, then you probably got momentum chasers out there. So first Majestic looks amazing, really. Okay, Fortuna. This one's really, I mean, it had bad news. I thought it'd go much lower because the whole sector started to flush, but it didn't go that low. Look at that support, held well. It's good looking back, isn't it, how technicals work. And then here we go, resistance, and then bam, look at that. That was on good news. Look at that. How ironic. On good earnings, it completely makes up plus more what had been undone by the bad news. Kept going, this descending, didn't care, closed above it, retested it, kept going. Now we're gapping up above Friday's high of day. 390. I've got 390. Otherwise, you got 398, $4. I don't know. I'm gonna trim a tiny bit, maybe. It's tough to say. I think between 390 and 420. Yeah, I agree with my lines. So yeah, let's see. We'll probably get a tiny bit of resistance at 390. And if we get to close above 4, the next resistance is 420. I can't believe I have to look higher now. And then 450, let's say 450 just to be sure. And then bam, we're done with the, look at that. We were at the 250s and now we're talking about 4s. You know, even though the chart is small, look at that. That's a big, you know, that's 50% pretty much done in a few weeks. And if it goes higher, it's almost 100. Very good, Fortuna, really very good. I actually was a bit worried about that, especially when it's Mexico and all these new socialist governments coming in with regulations and license restrictions and all that. So, okay, EXK, this is probably the worst one still. This one, however, is at an inflection point. Okay, we hit the low. I remember buying that day on the drop. That was beautiful. Came back down because of the sector, but then went back up with the sector. Resistance clearly correct on this line. Look at that. It was support. It was resistance. It's been resistance recently. Very nice to see. We're opening just below. Now it'd be horrible if the sector goes down because then it'd be really strong resistance, closes there, and then down we go on any drop all the way back down to the lows. That would be horrible. However, if we can run a little bit close above the descending, that's not asking a lot. You know, 230, 240, anything higher is even better. Then we can start to move all the way back up to the next major level of resistance, which is clearly this one. Let's say 270-ish. So it's got so much ground to make up EXK. It just needs like really good news, the sector working out for it, and then finally can start picking up some steam. But it's got a lot of, I mean, it's really cheap, isn't it? It's really cheap. Is that another future descending? I'm going to add that in. Yeah, that plays in quite well. Okay, well, there you go. It's just got, it's really low. I'm not going to say cheap because I'm not even sure what the bad news is. There must be a reason for this, but I mean, if it starts to turn up, it could make up a lot of percentages. No, sorry, this is where I need to check my other stocks that I accidentally deleted. CDE, my favorite. Coeur d'Alene, look at this beast. On Friday, closed above resistance. Beautiful stuff. Closed above resistance. And today, pre-market, okay, that could be some fake bid or something. I think this will test 3. I would love it to close above 3. Look at that. It's just 1 or 2 weeks ago, it was down here. And I remember saying it's still my favorite, especially when things go up, and look how much ground it's made. I mean, think about it. It was pretty much $2. It was $2. And now it's 3. It's done 50% in 1.5 weeks or something, you know. That's what I'm talking about, CDE. And it's still unbelievably cheap. It really does move up with silver. So if silver starts to do $25, $26, $30, if it's at $30, I know this is not the best company, but stock wise, I mean, you're going to see this thing, I don't know, 5s at least, you know, at least. So, and that's 100% from now. So imagine from down here. So CDE, I think we're going to test 3. I don't know why pre-market it's not high, not that high. It did do quite well already, but look at that close. You know, closed above resistance is perfect excuse to continue the run. So let's see if we test 3, close above 3, maybe even go all the way up to 330s. 330s for me is resistance. I remember 330s very, very regularly. It would hit 330s and never go above. It's just, and also you can see it here. So 330 for me on CDE. Now let's check Discovery. This one here did nicely up here. I actually wanted to sell this, but as is the case with a lot of illiquid stocks, it's very difficult to sell into little volume. So even though I had my sell like below the high of this candle, I still didn't get filled. But anyway, because of that, I didn't add any. And this is a good candle for Friday. Obviously, it's a bit disappointing that it didn't keep going up with the price, or at least hold its gains. But this candle on Friday is very reassuring. You know, that's a perfect candle, to be honest. Close a high of day. There's no real pre-market on this. It's like pink sheet stuff, but let's close above 55. All right, let's make a deal. 55. Then we're clearly above all these candles. We've double bottomed, right? Like double bottom, closing above this entire range. And then let's start to test this descending. This descending is huge. Look at this. Look how many times we've hit it. Close above that descending, knowing that silver's rising 25, GDXJ is going up, gold's above 2000 and might make new record highs. I think that's enough of a reason to start going all the way up. And this could do 100% from where it is now easily. Okay. Right, let's check some of the other stocks. I just need to bring up my 1 second. I think the next stock I'm going to check out is Aris Mining. So let's check Aris Mining. This one's also done very, very well indeed. Look at this. Look at this. Beautiful. Now, and then after hours, although I didn't trust it, it was above 3. It's like 302. I told you about this one. Look at this. Higher lows, higher highs, kind of, but higher lows mainly. And then this horizontal resistance. Look at that. Beautiful. Used to be called Grand Colombia. Very good. Used to be destroyed stock. Okay, I don't trust stocks that look like that. It's just diluted to oblivion. But it came out from the abyss, fixed its balance sheet, and I listened to a few interviews. I liked it, and technically it was okay to trade. So I was in. Look at this pre-market 310. Is that real? Right on the resistance. This is just huge, huge. Look at this from where we were on Thursday, pretty much. Where is Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Oh, whatever. Oh, yeah, Thursday was a Thanksgiving. Sorry. Well, yeah, you know, from where it was on Wednesday, there it makes it even more dramatic. From Wednesday to there, we're up, okay, 12%. Doesn't sound that bad, but I was 310 and now it's just moved to 302. Point is, it's gone up massively. It's taken out, clearly closed above this resistance. Next, and I knew that this wasn't really resistance, although it did close just below the gap. For me, 310 is resistance, 306, 310, same thing. And after you take that out, then you're at the 340s and then 360s. And, now we're going back months, maybe even over a year. So we've really made a lot of ground. Very, very good movement. Very happy. I got quite a lot in this, actually. I didn't realize how much I had in this. It's worth almost the same as the seniors over here. But that's because, from 2 all the way to 3, it doesn't look like much, but, that's 50%. So it's a lot of value in this one for me, so I might have to trim it on the way up, even though I think it's going to go even higher. It's risk management. You can't have too much in one stock. I've always allocated certain divisions for certain gold stocks, and this one's supposed to be one of the less heavy holdings, just because of how it's not the same trustworthiness as Newmont, Barrick, Agnico. So I might have to lighten the load soon. But anyway, very, very good, very impressive. You can see it's in the middle of a squeeze, actually, a bit of a mini squeeze here. So very nice. All right, Mag Silver. This one, look at that. Descending resistance still working. Yes, it popped its head above, but closed just below. Well, with today, I'm sorry, you're going to have to close above your descending. 1155, do we test that? Maybe. Let's just close above 11 because this is weak. It had good news. It moved really quite a lot. I forgot when. It's quite a while ago now. I think it was down here, and I thought, okay, I wanted to sell this position because I didn't like it compared to the others, just lower lows, lower highs, but good earnings recently. So I thought, okay, it's going to make up ground. But to be honest, it's been weak. So I'm not going to sell anything for a while. I think it can still go to 1350 at least. But once it gets there, unless it really starts to show some strength, I think the money is better elsewhere. I'd prefer to have it in, well, if everything's going up, CDE. I'd prefer to have it in Barrick or Newmont. Pan American Silver, I'd prefer it in Pan American Silver. There you go. So, but anyway, for now I'll hold it. I think it really should go to 1350 at least quite soon. Okay, let's look at GLGDF. That's Gogold. This one here. I think today's the day. $1. You should easily forget this descending. This descending, of course, is real. Once we get to 95 cents, we're there. But today, we have to be going to want to test $1. And let's close above $1. Once we close above 1, that's it. Double bottom, whatever you want to call it. The bottom is in. And now it's time to go to 115, 110, 115, and then hopefully 130. I'm looking for that 130. We'll probably encounter this descending on the way. But today, I really want to see Gogold test $1. Okay, let's check K92. Same thing for K92. Let's close above 550, but really, let's test 6. I don't know if it's today, but, you know, on this move all the way up, 12%, it's doable. If gold is really going to close above 2010 or maybe even test 2020, I want to see these type of moves now in these stocks. You know, this is a good company. It's been butchered. It's time to go up. And I'm not asking you to make the absolute highs in one day. I'm just asking you to test the next major level of resistance. So it's time to, you know, let's see some action here in some of these stocks. So K92, first step is really 550, but really $6. Now, talking of nice moves, Metalla royalty, although pre-market's down. Maybe that's just because of the highs it put in on Friday. I don't even know the news. I don't even know the news. Earnings, don't know. But it's a good company. It was completely undervalued. I bought this curl. I think my average is 280, 285 or something. Bam. And you can see it kind of hit resistance just where, okay, I had it at 340. Should be 340. And it hit resistance at 334. Same thing. So let's see, is this pre-market a fake? I don't know. I'll go check in my broker soon, but it would be good if it tests the high. Well, actually, forget this pre-market. Let's just see if we can close above 340, because 340 is not only the horizontal, but look how it all coincides perfectly. It's also the descending. So you've got double resistance at 340, definite resistance at 340. So I think if we start hitting 335, Friday's high, if it does go a bit higher, you're going to find a bit of resistance, maybe even just below 335. You could have people selling just before because they know there's a lot of resistance here, despite what's going on today so far with gold moving up, silver up 2%. It's independent. It's like Metalla's personal fluctuations here that are playing out. All right, that will do. I will just cover very quickly my subscriber ones. So EGO, look at this. This is beautiful. Popped, hit resistance, came down, hit support. It's beautiful. Came back up. Yes, hit resistance. Yes, it went all the way up, but look where it closed. Just all the way down. Why did it go all the way down? Because that was resistance. But look, the next day, I guess the sector going up was too much for those selling. We kept on going back up and another move up. And now we're hitting and we're opening just around resistance 12. Where's the high of that candle up there? Look at that. It's right there, 12.10. This is very strong. This is a very good stock. It's working very well technically, and it's looking very strong. And on top of that, you got the sector working out for it. Next stop, we're going to go to 1240, 1250. And then after that, bam, up we go. 1350, 13 is nothing. 1350, and then 1450. Wow, the round numbers don't work. It's the 50 cent that do. And then after that, look at that. Wow, this is such a good stock. I should have been in this. I still can be. This is really good. And look at this here. Bam, bam, bam. Up we go, retest, and then basically all the way to 1450. And then you may even have a retest of coming back down to 1250, 12. If there's a big retracement, you buy that retracement. I'm going to buy a big retracement of this probably. This is good. So well done for buying this. This still looks very good. Hecla. I can remove these from before. Well, they were right. Support is there. Resistance is there. Look at Friday. Look at that. That's really good. Look at the resistance you had here on that Tuesday. And then, bam, 2 days later, you're all the way back up. 2 trading days later. Obviously, Thanksgiving was a non-trading day. But look at that. Closed just below. Fair enough. 480. It's really $5 roughly. It's hard to tell exactly which cent is resistance, but you zoom out, you can see what I mean. Support, resistance. What you really want is, first of all, to close above 5, which I think is a given unless everything reverses. Let's not get too excited. And also this descending. All right, let's close above that. So let's see what happens today. But things look very good. A lot of stocks look very nice, primed to rise. A lot of the charts look really perfect technically. A lot of adherence to the technicals. So there you go. That's the portfolio update. Let me know what you think, and let's see what happens today. Good luck.